Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom is about to go the way of the dinosaur.
The dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom has now gone extinct.
Dinoland USA is a rare example of Imagineering failure.
Guests walking along those tall work walls marking the end of an era.
When Disney set out to build their fourth Orlando theme park, they faced a unique challenge. How do you make a zoo feel like a destination? Coming up behind Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios, simply showcasing animals wasn't going to cut it. Just like any of their other parks, they needed thrills. They needed spectacle. So in 1998, when the park opened, CEO Michael Eisner dedicated Disney's Animal Kingdom with a promise that this would be a kingdom of animals, real, ancient, and imagined. And how'd that promise go? Pretty bad, actually. Now don't get me wrong, Disney's Animal Kingdom is still the 15th most visited theme park in the entire world, and it's beloved by fans and average comers alike. Average comers? And they delivered in many ways, especially in regards to the real animals. The park's safari, the immersive African and Asian theming throughout, the insane attention to naturalistic detail. It set a new bar for what an animal-themed experience could feel like. Real animals in real environments, not cages. Those imagined animals, though, originally meant to be dragons and mythological creatures, were kind of forgotten completely until Avatar showed up a couple years ago. And then there was the Ancient. Dinoland USA was a part of the park from the very beginning and was meant to be the park's prehistoric heart. A celebration of dinosaurs set up with its own immersive ride at the center. It wasn't super extensive, but they had a pretty cool dinosaur researcher theme that got the job done well. And then they dedicated a huge chunk of that area to look like it was a, quote, desperate, hastily assembled carnival plopped onto a cracked asphalt parking lot by people trying to make a quick buck off tourist traffic. Boy, did it look the part, I guess. I know this is a niche thing to have strong feelings about, but dropping random pay-to-play carnival games in the middle of an otherwise immersive and extraordinary theme park is a choice I will never understand. Like, the ticket was $200, man. Let me throw the ball at the bottles. Either way, Dinoland had its moments, but as of 2 weeks ago, Disney decided that the bad finally outweighed the good, and they closed the whole thing down, with no dinosaur replacement in sight. The promise of the Ancient gone. So consider this a send-off, because Dinoland closing got me thinking. Disney dedicated an entire section of their most ambitious theme park land to dinosaurs. That's a serious commitment. There obviously must be a deep well of dinosaur content in the Disney vault. Now, when I say ranking, I feel the need to put some parameters in place. So what am I looking for in Disney dinosaur representation? 1. Dinosaur coolness. How rad are they? Do these dinosaurs get me amped? Would little me want a toy of them? Would big me want a toy of them? Please tell me. They're asking. You have to stop doing the voice. My bad. 2. Dinosaur accuracy. How accurately does each movie represent dinosaurs based on my own personal and very limited knowledge of dinosaurs? And probably a Google or two. And finally, 3. How are the dinosaurs used as a mirror for the human experience of building a life in the shadow of an ending you can't outrun and were never meant to survive? First up, Dinosaur. Good title. Now, Disney's Dinosaur actually has a lot of history. The concept was originally pitched back in 1988 as a dark, dialogue-free stop-motion film that was going to end with the meteor hitting Earth. It was experimental, artistic, and unlike anything they'd ever done before. So Disney, of course, shelved it immediately. It wasn't until the early 90s, when Michael Eisner was deep in development on Animal Kingdom, that the project got pulled back off the shelf. He saw it as a great tie-in for the park, something to get the Disney audience really invested in dinosaurs. So they completely revamped it, made it family-friendly, and spent years developing the software to 3D animate the dinosaurs to look as lifelike as possible. At $127.5 million, Dinosaur was reportedly the most expensive computer-animated film ever made at the time of its release. And with all that work and effort, the dinosaurs must look incredible. Oh, shit. Oh my god, what is that? Why do they just have 2 teeth? Like 2 big teeth. Anyways, here's Disney's Dinosaur. The film starts inside an egg as a little dinosaur is being made. Kind of like Marty Supreme, when you think about it. We then see the nesting grounds and the group of dinosaurs within get ransacked by a group of carnivores who act as the main antagonists of the movie. And they also never speak English for some reason. Like, all the other dinosaurs speak, but these ones are just dinosaurs, I guess. So all but one egg is destroyed. A velociraptor comes up and steals it, and we get this weird GoPro POV shot for like 2 seconds. Sick. Sure. And then we follow the egg as it passes between different creatures all across this prehistoric landscape, eventually ending up on an island of lemurs? Question mark? Now I had to Google this because I was so confused. These guys look like lemurs and are lemurs according to the internet, but they're never referred to as that the entire movie. They're only ever referred to as monkeys, but it's like kind of in a joking context? I don't know.
I can't wait to hear the mating advice of an old monkey.
This movie's weird, man. So here we finally meet our guy in the egg, an iguanodon named Aladar, who gets raised by the lemurs as one of their own. This movie came out just 11 months after Tarzan, by the way. I feel like that must have been a bummer for the team. Oh, they did the same thing, but with monkeys. What if we just call them monkeys? That's a pretty good idea. Now, I do unfortunately need to address the lemurs a little bit more. Most of them are fine, pretty standard side characters to act as Aladar's family. But one of them is really...
Hey, sweetie, if you'll be my bride, I'll groom you. Scaly skin, yellow eyes, big ankles. I always did like big girls. Ow, baby!
Sexually charged, which I'm sure was a hoot and a holler back in 2000, but well, it's just such an odd choice in a kid's film. So we've got Granddad Lemur, Mommy Lemur, Sister Lemur, and let's make that one really horny and gross. I think the kids will love that one. Anyways, things on Lemur Island are super chill. They're just chilling, relaxing, living their lemur lives. Nothing can bring this moment down. Oh my god, not yet. Don't worry, guys. It's only 17 minutes into the movie. That's only a small meteor, not the big one. It's not gonna do anything. Oh, I think I may be getting ahead of myself, but this is the best part of the movie. There's a genuine sense of horror here. The scramble to survive something you can't outrun and can't understand. You don't know where safety is. They don't know where safety is. It's chaotic and scary, and it earns every single second of it. So Lemur Island is destroyed, and almost no one survived. I have here written in my notes 9 a lemurn. So, sorry about that. Thankfully, Aladar got out of there in time, and with him he brought Granddad Lemur, Mama Lemur, Sister Lemur, and... oh god, not you. They wash up on shore, and now they're in Dinoland USA, baby. Not really, it's, there's dinosaurs though. They quickly find themselves swept up in a massive herd of dinosaurs, migrating to the nesting grounds, a paradise where they'll apparently be safe. Aladar has his big Tarzan moment. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know about the strangers like me. And he pretty quickly takes a liking to the freaks and geeks at the back of the herd. That being 2 old lady dinosaurs and a dinosaur that really likes acting like a dog. For some reason. Ugh, bro. Quit. Like, is it implying that ankylosauruses are some sort of, like, unintelligent lesser species? Or is this just a kink? He also meets Nira, who is him, but pink. And that means she's a girl. And that means they're probably gonna kiss. So, the herd is led by her older brother Kron, sick name, who believes in leaving the weak and old behind if they can't keep up, which Aladar obviously doesn't rock with. But low-key, that's terrible. But like, if you're an old dinosaur, you gotta be old as shit, right? Game's up, Granny. Close the yearbook. We're leaving you for dead. So our crew ends up separated from the herd, and they end up finding Bruton. Hell yeah. Dope-ass name. Who's sort of Kron's lieutenant. He was injured by a Carnotaur and left for dead by Kron and the rest of the herd. He's confused by Aladar's kindness and very quickly has a redemption moment when they get tracked by the same crew of Carnotaurs that got him before. The worst part about this scene is not Bruton dying. Spoilers, Bruton dies. It's that Bruton dying was almost entirely the dog one's fault. They're pretty much safe, hidden, tucked away in this cave. They just need to stay quiet. And then he just... Sorry guys, that one's on me. Not the time. So Bruton helps fight them off and brings the cave down on top of him in the process. And there's a moment where Aladar tears through the rocks and we see Bruton's just floppy dead corpse. Pretty brutal for a Disney movie. So they break through the cave wall and miraculously the nesting grounds are on the other side.
Our new home. And it comes with a pool!
Shut up. God. But upon discovering this area, Aladar notices the path the herd was taking would lead them to a steep cliff. And more importantly, his boothang isn't there. I gotta go. Upon getting there and warning them, Kron gets his absolute panties in a twist because he doesn't want to admit that he could be wrong about something. No, instead, they're gonna fight.
What is the tea? The girls are fighting! No!
Nira breaks it up quickly, and then the Carnotaur shows up. Anyways, Carnotaur dies. Yay! Kron also dies. Yay! Kind of a yay. He was her brother, but he kind of sucked. And everyone else makes it to paradise. They have babies, the horny lemur gets a harem, sure, man, and they all live happily ever after. So that's Disney's Dinosaur. Now let's rank it. These dinosaurs are kinda uggo, for sure, but ugly and rad are not mutually exclusive. The variety alone is impressive. Different species, different sizes, different behaviors, and they sneak an underwater one in the opening sequence just to flex. I like that one. That one's my favorite. And the more fightery ones are especially sick. The Carnotaurs are genuinely menacing, and Bruton, God rest his soul, was built like a truck and died like a warrior. Fat and cool and gone too soon. Dinosaur coolness gets a 4 out of 5. I got it next. Go. Alright, I looked into it, and real iguanodons don't have the weird mono-tooth thing on the top and bottom of their mouth. What they actually had was up to 29 tightly packed grinding teeth hidden deep in their cheeks, constantly replacing themselves, and a hard beak at the front designed to snap through anything with a clean, mechanical bite. So maybe Disney was right. As for the Carnotaurs, in real life they're called Carnotauruses, and in real life they were actually closer in size to Aladar than a T-Rex. The massive monster version we get in this movie actually traces back to the Animal Kingdom ride. The Imagineers had to build the animatronic bigger because the steel legs needed to be thick enough to support it, and once the legs grew, everything else had to match. By the end, they'd basically invented a new animal. The film was in production at the same time, so they decided to just copy the same creature. But other than that, dinosaur accuracy gets like a 3 out of 5. Sure. It does pretty good. 5 out of 5. Kidding. Obviously this category was made as kind of a joke, but now I must reap what I sow. This movie is about creatures building a life in the wreckage of an old one ending, marching towards the hope of something new, protecting each other along the way. And they find it. Paradise. A new life. A future seen through the first steps of Aladar's kids. We end on hope. But we know what comes next. Not tomorrow, maybe not for 1,000 years, but that next meteor is already out there. It always is. It's a metaphor. The dinosaurs don't get a warning, and neither do we. Disney ends the film on hope because that's the only honest place to end it. It's all any of us have. I give the human condition of inevitable doom a 5 out of 5. Woof! That was heavy. Let's move on to what I expect is going to be a much lighter watch. Aw, man. That's right, folks. The two Disney movies about dinosaurs are called Dinosaur and The Good Dinosaur, which right next to each other really makes it seem like this one is the bad dinosaur. I don't know if Pixar did that intentionally, but it's very funny. Now, The Good Dinosaur has a bit of production history, too. The Good Dinosaur started development in 2009 under Bob Peterson, co-director of Up, who was building a genuinely complex dinosaur society story. After years of rewrites, Pixar fired him, brought in a new director, recast almost everyone, simplified everything, and delayed the film over a year. It became Pixar's first ever box office flop. This movie takes place in an alternate reality where the meteor never hit Earth. Millions of years have passed, and now dinosaurs are the dominant intelligent species on Earth rather than humans. And that premise is genuinely fascinating. What does dinosaur civilization look like? What did they build? How are they going to illustrate this? One family, farming corn, in the middle of nowhere. I'm starting to see why the original plan was a lot more complex. We meet this family of apatosauruses on the day their children all hatch. And might I say, these eggs have a severe lack of goop. There's nary a drop of goop in these shells, which is my theory as to why our main character and the runt of the pack, Arlo, is so weak and dumb. Also, their legs look like little fingers, and I like that. Now, we do see them grasping some complex concepts we're not used to dinosaurs doing. They use tools, they tie knots, they have chickens. What? Chickens are like considered the closest thing we have to dinosaurs walking the earth today. So that begs the question, Huh? Just sort of a weird detail to have. Like, we just saw your eggs hatch, and now we're supposed to be chill with you taking and eating theirs? Okay.
All right, you cluckers.
Whoa! I don't like that. Be nice to them. So a big part of the rising conflict of this movie is the family silo. Each member of the family gets to make their mark on the silo when they've done something that earns it. His brother earns it by clearing a field of trees, his sister gets it by plowing a field in the rain, and Arlo is sort of left behind because he sucks at everything, and everyone hates him for it. That's a joke. Everyone but his dad hates him for it. At least we know he'll be around to cheer Arlo on for a long time. Arlo discovers the little feral human child who has been stealing corn from the silo. Unable to catch him, Dad steps in and takes Arlo out to track the kid down and finish the job. They're gonna kill a kid. Arlo, being Arlo, slips and hurts his ankle immediately and ruins the entire trip. Come on, man. This trip can't get any worse now. Oh, with Dad gone, Mom is finally up for grabs. Sorry, that's horrible and weird. She is hot, though. With Dad gone, Mom gets overworked and unwell, and Arlo is shouldering more of the workload than ever. Then the kid shows back up, stealing from the silo, and something shifts in Arlo. He's done being scared. He's angry. It's time to kill a kid. This is his moment, his turning point, his redemption arc starts right now. He falls right in the river, doesn't he? God damn it, man. Just completely eats it. Goes over, hits his head so hard he's knocked unconscious, and wakes up miles from home. Nice. And who's there to greet him when he wakes up but the kid, sitting there and bringing him food. Loyal, kind, acting strangely like a dog. Reminds me of someone. Now, I did write out a full script for the rest of this movie, but from here on out, the plot just kind of becomes a series of random encounters. For example, Arlo and the boy happen upon a For example, Arlo and the boy happen upon a Styracosaurus hermit who uses animals as his protectors. So he sees that the kid is doing a pretty good job of protecting Arlo and wants him for his own.
I name him, I keep him.
Arlo, in a panic, shouts out names until the kid responds to Spot. Get it? Like a dog? Then the Styracosaurus runs off and is never mentioned again, sorta just there to make Arlo claim Spot as a pet? I guess? Or to give him a name? I don't know. Point is, we're gonna speed through the rest of this movie because it follows a very bullet-pointable format. Spot finds a gopher to hunt. Arlo is finally good at something when he blows the gopher hole. Ugh. But just kidding, it backfires immediately because... Arlo sucks! Exactly, guys. Then they eat rotten fruit and get high. Okay. Spot takes a piss. Yes, there's a full scene dedicated to that. Spot reveals that he's an orphan using sticks in the sand, and Arlo communicates that he lost his father. This scene is just really good, actually. Right after the piss scene is crazy, though. Hey, they found the river. A storm hits, and Arlo immediately loses the river because he's reminded of the night that his dad died. PTSD, INO, SAUR. They meet pterodactyls who follow the storm like it's some sort of god because it provides them with food in the form of creatures injured by the storm. And they really want to eat Spot. Before they can, though, they're saved by a big brontosaurus. Oh, nope, that's a group of T-Rexes. That was fun. I liked that. They find out that the T-Rexes are chillers, and they're kind of cowboys. Arlo and Spot help the T-Rexes round up their lost longhorn herd and fight off a gang of feathered raptor-type dinosaurs. Wait. Feathered? So we are connecting dinosaurs to birds. What's with the chickens, man?
Seriously, what the hell's the chicken?
Afterwards, they sit around a campfire and this one plays a bug like a harmonica. Not a big detail. I just liked it. Sam Elliott Dinosaur recounts a tale of fighting two crocs and tells Arlo what I guess is the lesson of the movie.
Listen, kid, you can't get rid of fear. It's like Mother Nature. You can't beat her or outrun her, but you can get through it. You can find out what you're made of.
The T-Rexes agree to let Arlo and Spot travel with them until they see the mountains, a landmark of his home. They thank the T-Rex family and go their separate ways. The kid and Arlo share a beautiful, triumphant moment of excitement as they finally head towards their final destination. This movie really is very pretty. They howl out in excitement, and shockingly, they hear a howl in return from the distance. We see a human across the way, calling out to Spot. Wow, not only is Arlo about to make it home, but maybe Spot can find one too. Arlo immediately grabs Spot and says they need to go. Arlo? What the fuck, man? More like the bad dinosaur. No one's ever made that joke. They travel on and the storm picks up again. And this time we see something circling in the clouds like sharks. This is so rad. I love that. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise! It's the pterodactyls again, and they grab Spot and kill Arlo. Nah, I wish. Arlo just has a dream sequence with his dead dad, or whatever. It's very nice, I cried.
This is no place to die.
And finds the strength to free himself and go save his friend despite being scared. Arlo catches up and him and Spot fight off the pterodactyls together. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Spot, that's nuts.
Kilimanjaro.
Spot gets knocked into the river, and as if Arlo didn't do enough today, they're hit with a flash flood. But Arlo's newfound bravery in the face of fear kicks in, and he saves him. He loses his own life in the process. Nah, I wish. They're actually both just fine. A little bruised, but they're just fine. They finally make it to a point where the farm is in sight when suddenly the Croods show up, and Arlo realizes he must part ways with Spot despite their connection. And then Arlo approaches the farm on his own, and his mother looks up and calls out,
Henry?
This movie sucks, man. His family greets him with open arms, and Arlo finally gets to put his mark on the silo. But, why? But why, though? Sure, Arlo went on this big journey and discovered his own sort of bravery and how to get things done. But he hasn't done anything for the farm. They don't know he's changed at all. This really feels like a, aw, man, we thought you were dead, dude. Go ahead, dude. We don't even care anymore. And that's the Good Dinosaur. Let's rank. These dinosaurs are super lame. Arlo is so wobbly and so squishy, and I hate him. So, the T-Rexes are kind of cool in like a cowboy way, but in a T-Rex way, they kind of suck. They're strong for sure, but the amount of times we see them bite down on someone and then they walk away unscathed is redonk. In fact, the only character to do something truly wicked and dinosaur-like is Spot. Spot gets gnarly, man. I love Spot, but he's not a dinosaur. So, dinosaur coolness gets a solid 2 out of 5. Sorry. I'm gonna take this portion of the video to just complain more than anything. It's been millions of years since the meteor hit Earth. Sure, we can start with a rural farm family, but as soon as you take our protagonist miles away from home with a road trip to get back, why don't we see more? Why is this world so underdeveloped? It feels like we're watching an apocalypse movie more than anything. Every dinosaur we see is very separate from the rest, in their own little cliques, either hiding, farming, or scavenging. I'm not asking for Zootopia, but like, a little dinosaur village would have been cool. I truly blame the rewrites. I would have loved to see what evolved dinosaur society could look like, instead of just learning to farm for food. Future dinosaur accuracy gets a 2 out of 5. God, this category's a bummer. But this movie really does earn its existential brownie points. The meteor isn't coming this time around, so Arlo's not running from a meteor, he's running from grief. From fear. The whole movie focuses on the experience of losing the person who believed in you the most, and having to become someone worthy of that belief anyway, despite them never getting to see it. And the silo's doing a ton of work as a metaphor for legacy. Every mark on it is proof that someone was here, that they did something that mattered to the people around them, leaving something behind to live on after you. For Arlo, it's a muddy handprint, and for his father, it's 5. This movie gets a 5 out of 5 on the human condition of impending doom. Woo! That was rough. Really changes the mood. Alright, 2 movies watched, 2 movies ranked, so by the very serious and rigorous scoring system I invented, I must crown... What was that? No, there's not another one, is there? Technically, no. But 1/6 of Disney's Fantasia is entirely dedicated to dinosaurs, which means I have to watch it. Here we follow the entire story of the dinosaurs, from the very formation of the Earth all the way to extinction. This animation has no dialogue and is set to a Stravinsky ballet called The Rite of Spring, which makes Fantasia kind of just a very sophisticated AMV when you think about it. It takes a long time to get going. Volcanoes, primordial seas, single-celled organisms. Oh my god, this is just like Marty Supreme again. But needless to say, my tiny little TikTok brain struggled. We don't get actual dinosaurs until about 9 minutes in, and when they show up, they're enormous and weird and kind of terrifying. They make you feel the full weight of what dinosaurs actually were. Not characters, not vessels for human emotion, just a bunch of freaky dudes out in the wild. Alive, and then not. Eventually, we reach a moment of real peace with these dinosaurs. Feels really nice. There's been so much— oh man, come on! In just 22 minutes, we see the world develop, evolution happen, dinosaurs just chillin', dinosaurs eating each other, and of course, the meteor actually doesn't kill the dinosaurs in this one. What? Yeah, this movie was made in 1940, 40 years before the asteroid impact theory was developed. Isn't that nuts? So Disney went with the leading scientific theories of the time. Severe drought, the world drying up and turning hostile. The sun gets too hot, they're drinking straight dookie water, they get stuck in the mud, and one by one, they stop moving. It's brutal, but at least it's not quite as intense as the meteor. Oh, I really like that during this section we see the lunar eclipse at the same time as it acts as a sort of doomsday clock counting down to the end of the world as the dinosaurs knew it. And then silence. There were no characters, no real plot, no horny lemurs or feral children. That's a bad two to pair together. Just creatures that were alive for 200 million years and then weren't. It's genuinely one of the most brutal, beautiful, devastating things I've ever seen come out of Disney. And it came out 85 years ago. So honorable mention goes to Fantasia, which gets a, wow, perfect score in all 3 categories. I'm not even really joking. This movie captures dinosaurs in a very cool, very accurate, for the time, way that you just don't get from the other Disney media. And there's absolutely no sugarcoating. It's brutal, and the extinction is terrifying to watch. And in terms of my arbitrary scoring system, it really does everything the best. It is, in my mind, the only piece of dinosaur media the company's released that's memorable, and that's coming from someone who didn't know or remember that Fantasia had dinosaurs in it at all. And that's kind of the through line across all 3 of these. Each time Disney's touched dinosaurs, it's become sort of lost and forgotten. Their first computer animated film, hardly ever talked about. Pixar's first ever box office failure, often left out of the conversation. And now the theme park based around these creatures, quietly torn down. Maybe that's the most dinosaur thing of all. Here and then gone, leaving nothing but a light footprint behind for those interested to discover. Anyways, here's the ranking. It's 3 movies, you should have been able to keep up. Here's what I'd actually rate the movies, and bye. I'll see you Friday, Paulo.